So at the moment, we have the possibility to create new posts and retrieve all the posts that are in the database. However, for the new post creation, the image URL, we simply provide one that we find online, okay? We also want the possibility to upload a file that we can then provide to our image URL. Okay, so that is what we're going to be building in this video. We're going to have an endpoint that allows us to upload a file, and then from that file upload, it replies with a part of a URL, okay, just a part of the URL where we need to attach the finally the local host, okay, so that we can make up the whole URL that we need to pass to image URL. And then instead of URL type absolute, we will pass relative. All right, so let's go ahead and implement that. We're going to do that in our post method, post file. We're going to have at router dot post, and we're going to have an endpoint /image. Okay, let's define a method upload image where we have an image as parameter that is of type upload file. Okay, let's check the upload file import here. I think either from data structures or we can even import it from here. That should be fine. Okay, so we have our upload file. Now for upload file, that's going to be a file of ... Okay, so let's import file as well. Okay, so we have our import file. Now, let's go ahead and implement the functionality to actually upload this file. What we want to do is we want to have a folder here. Let's go ahead and create a new folder called images. So what we would like to do is we would like to put all the images that are provided here inside the images folder, and then make that folder statically accessible, okay, so that we can create URLs to access those images. However, we don't want to simply have the images overwrite each other if they have by chance the same name, okay? So what we will need to do is we will need to actually provide some random string to attach to the end of the file name. Okay, so that we have unique file names for whatever is uploaded here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So first of all, I'm going to create a random string composed of letters. Okay, so letters, let's create rand_str is going to be empty string.join. And here we need to create some random variables from a string. So I'm going to say random.choice. Now I need to import random. Okay, so random.choice, and I need to provide the choice of random here, that what random can choose from. And I'm going to choose letters. I'm going to create a variable letters that will be basically string dot, let me import string as well. Okay, and string dot ASCII letters will give us all the letters of the alphabet, okay, and with an S here, and these letters will be passed to the random choice. So basically random.choice will choose one of these letters, one of the available letters. And we will do that for I in range of however many you want. I'm going to put 6. I want 6 letters chosen randomly, and they will be in this random string. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If not, don't worry, we will get to the image naming, and you will see how that impacts the name of the images that are stored in this folder. Now, we're going to have a new equals an f string underscore rand string. So this is the, close that curly brace. this is the part that we will append to the file name. Now keep in mind the file name is followed by a dot extension, so we want to append this to the file name and not to the extension. So we need to split that file name and rebuild it with this new string that we have. So I'm going to say file name equals new.join, and here I will say image.filename. Image is the one that is passed to this function as a parameter. Image.filename.rsplit, so right split with the dot, okay, and 1 for the index. Okay, so basically I am joining this string to the two components of my file name split by the dot at the end. Okay, so I'm splitting between name and extension with the dot. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Then I'm going to construct the path. It's going to be an F string, and it's going to go into my images folder / the file name that we've just constructed. Okay, so we have that in place. I have the path for the file that I want to store. And then I'm going to say with open. Now let's see if that works, or I need to import something. I'm going to say open path and with the string w plus b. So I want to create the file if it doesn't exist, or override it if it already exists. Open this as buffer and shutils. Shutil, I need to import it. So I'm going to say here at the top, import shutil. Okay. Shutil.copy file object image.file to my buffer. Okay, so I'm opening a buffer to the path that I've created, and then I'm copying the image.file to my buffer. Okay, and then I will simply return. I'm going to have file name path. Okay, so that is a bit of complexity. This is quite easy to understand, right? So we are simply adding some random string to the file name, and then we are opening the file that was provided and dumping everything into the place that we have decided here, okay, that we've set. And then we're returning the path for our file. Now we will need a couple of libraries imported here. So I'm going to add here Python-multipart. That is for the endpoint that requires the file. So in order to upload the image here, we need the multipart, and we need AIO files for setting our folder in as a static access. Okay, so we want to be able to access the files on the folder in a static way. So I've added that. Let's go and install that. Pip install -r requirements. Okay, I'm going to deactivate, then again activate my environment, so env bin activate, and then I'm going to start my server. Okay, so that is done. Now the only thing that we need to do, assuming this is implemented correctly, is to make that folder accessible statically. So I'm going to go to my main. I'm going to import here from at the top. I'm going to say from fastapi.static files, import static files. Okay, and then I'm going to say app.mount /images, which is the folder that we want to mount, and then static files. Directory is going to be images, and the name is also going to be images. We're going to keep things simple. the name has to be outside of the static files here. Okay, so make sure you have static files with a directory, and the name is a parameter of mount. Okay, let's save that. And now we're gonna go to our documentation, refresh, and we have a new endpoint. Now let's see if that works. Okay, we have multi-part form data, so we do need that import that we've done previously. Now the parameter is an image. We're gonna choose an image here. I'm gonna choose a cat, execute, and 200 OK, I get the correct output here. So the file name was actually stored in images with cat underscore. This is the random string, and JPEG. And it looks like I forgot to add the dot for the end of the file name. Okay, so let's go ahead in our post. And here in the new, I'm going to add a dot at the end. Okay, by the way, if you look in the images, you're going to have the file here, but I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to execute the call again. And now we can get the random string correctly with a .jpeg at the end. And if we look in the folder, we get our image. So we know that we can upload an image. Let's see if we can access it. Okay, so I'm going to go to localhost 8000 / paste that link, and we get a static image hosted on my API endpoint. Okay, so that is the main idea. Now, if I want to copy this URL, relative URL, and I want to create a new post here, let's try it out. I'm going to say image URL is this, and this is going to be relative. So I know that when the client is trying to display this image, it's relative, so it needs to append the localhost :8000 here at the start, right? So that it can access this image. Then cat, and the creator ID is going to be 1, for example. Execute that, and we get a 200 OK. So we get relative and the correct image here. And we will see how we actually display this when we are building our client. But for now, let's check in the database. For now, it all looks really good. We have our image here in the database with a URL type relative.